Fiorucci here with The Healthy Butcher. I'm here in the middle of New Zealand. We came here in search of the perfect beef, one that is both healthy and tasty, and one that is true to our mission statement to ensure your food is produced the way nature intended. And for that, we need 100% grass-fed. And what we found here is absolutely incredible. Right from the breed selection and rearing of the beef, using Wagyu as a breed that brings great intramuscular marbling to the beef, to unbelievably lush pastures. We're here at the last week of August, which is the end of winter for New Zealand. When in Ontario and in Canada, we're about to end our grass-fed season, here it's just beginning, and it is going to be spectacular because even at the worst time of the year, you still have lush pastures. All the way through to how they're treated throughout their entire lives. We found no farm that was more than 75 kilometers from either coast. They live a relaxed, humane, happy life, healthy on grass, right to the abattoir. We went to see the abattoir, which is Temple Grandin inspired. It was absolutely amazing. What you're about to see is some video footage we took while on this vacation. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy the meat.
I'm Dave Meli. I'm here in New Zealand with Peter Keeling on his farm, and we're going to talk a little bit about the grass that we have. Now, what's amazing is that it is the end of August, and as you can tell, the grass, it looks amazing. I can't even think of when our grass looks this amazing in Ontario. So, talk to me about the varieties here. There's this type of Timothy, is this native to New Zealand or was this planted?
This grass here is, to me, it's more of what I would call ryegrass. So, sorry to correct you, Dave, on your Timothy. So, most of New Zealand's pasture is built on ryegrass and clover swards. And the ryegrass, very easy to manage grass. It takes a little bit of punishment, but it's also productive all year round. And the white clover, we can just see some here, poking its head out. This is the secret to the New Zealand pasture sward because it has a symbiotic relationship with something called rhizobia. And those rhizobia are on the roots of the white clover and produce nitrogen, which helps make that grow. The other convenient factor is the cattle do a lot better. It's just got a higher energy content in the clover. It's more easily digestible than the grass, but we need a bit of both because with just clover, you won't produce much. With just grass, looks good for a while, but you need the clover there to keep it going on a year-round basis. So it's a good relationship. Other grasses are found in the paddocks. It just depends on the fertility and the grazing management, whether it's a set stocking regime or a rotational grazing regime. Most cattle are on a rotational grazing regime, so they tend to encourage the higher producing species.
Okay, so talk to me a bit about the breeding and genetic selection for the Firstlight cattle. Because one of the things I've noticed is that, first of all, yeah, very consistent fat marbling, great size musculature all at the same time, and the fat doesn't yellow like traditional grass-fed beef would.
Okay, probably a few questions there, Dave, but in terms of the marbling part, that all comes from the Wagyu genetics, so extra Wagyu out of Japan. The issue from a New Zealand farming and a grass feeding point of view is the Wagyu genetics have just been bred for feeding on grain. And so there's been a few purebred Wagyus in the country, but they just really, on average, don't grow well enough on grass to be an economic proposition for the New Zealand farmer. With a bit of trial work over the previous few years, Firstlight and Brown Rig Agriculture have found that the half-bred stow do get the required degree of marbling that keeps your customers happy and what they're looking for in a piece of meat from the butcher shop. And importantly, the other half of the animal, which for us and these cattle down here is Angus in the initial stages. Mixing half Wagyu, half Angus, we're getting growth rates that are comparable to straight Angus on grass. And that's important for our New Zealand farming systems. There's the opportunity in New Zealand because over 3/4 of the cows in our country are actually of dairy origin, Friesian and Friesian Jersey crosses. We're able to utilise our dairy industry as a dam breed. And we're finding there the Friesian part and the Jersey part is getting us maintaining our growth rates and enhancing that marbling quality that you were talking about. The grass-fed, I think, does give a little bit of yellowing, but you're probably better placed to comment on that than me, but it's not excessively so. And so the mix of those genetics just giving us the right mix of marbling and fat colour and growth rate. Yeah.
So let's discuss a little bit about the health of these animals. They look like they're very healthy, and they're on incredibly healthy fields. If you were standing in this field, the fields smell beautiful. Doesn't smell like your typical North American farm. How do you keep these animals healthy? What happens if they get sick? How often do they get sick?
So most of it in terms of keeping them healthy is just about all keeping them on the right amount of grass through the year and making sure that you're rationing it out in our tight times so they've got enough feed to maintain themselves and also grow. Occasionally though the animals do get sick, and in our beef system, look, you might be talking 1 or 2% of the animals that get to a stage where they need a specific antibiotic in there. And so that's just given to those 1 or 2 animals. Those 1 or 2 animals might have one treatment in their lifetime. And in our system we put a tag in their ears, and so it's entered in our database so we know those animals have had an antibiotic treatment and they don't come to the healthy butcher.
Kia ora Dave, no mai hara mai. Quite often Clive sings to the cattle anyway, so if I was up on this farm I'd be singing this song. Tahine taru kino, mai whaia ipo, kei te wehenga, aroha kau ana, haere maira. Kia ho neira, kia roha tino nui, haere mai, titiro, titiro atu ahau. Ka hurike koe, kei roto ia koe, pirangi mai ana. Haere maira. Sing up, Clive. Kia ho neira, kia roha tino nui, haere mai. Hia wahi. There you go.
Spectacular. So what did that mean?
Oh, now you're getting tricky.
A lovely black cattle.
That's sort of welcoming you all, actually. That's a big, with our love and aroha that we're traditionally well known for. But you know, how about we say that's to help our grass grow, those cattle to fatten, and we're all here to witness that. So
That's fantastic.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.